Thank you for reminding me.
Okay. All right. We're all here for the Citizen Police Review Commission meeting for Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022, virtual meeting at 6:30 p.m. A roll call was taken, and after roll call, it was declared that we do have a quorum in order to begin the meeting. So having a quorum, we will go ahead and begin the items on the agenda, starting under 2A. It came to my attention that there are some meetings of the CPRC that has not been approved as of yet, and so we'll handle that. The first is if we can have someone move to approve the meetings of the CPRC of July 7th, 2021.
I'd like to move that we approve the minutes of the Citizen Police Review Commission meeting of July 7th, 2021.
And if I can please have a second.
A second.
Okay. So Dave, do you want to do a roll call for each of these, or how do you want to do that?
That is your decision if you want to move them all in, and then we just take
Okay.
one roll call if everybody's going
sounds
to
good.
approve them all.
Sounds good. Okay. So
I'll
then,
redo that. So how about I move to approve the minutes of the Citizen Police Review Commission from July 7th, 2021, September 1st, 2021, December 1st, 2021, and February 2nd of 2022.
and is there a second?
Second the motion.
Okay. We'll have a vote on all who approve.
Commissioner Shambi,
Approve.
Commissioner Marsh,
Approve.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve.
Commissioner Strickland,
Approve.
Commissioner Lowell.
Approve.
Having no nays, the meetings of the Citizen Police Review Commission for dates of July 7th, 2021, September 1st, 2021, December 1st, 2021, and February 2nd, 2022 will be approved. Next item we have on the agenda is public comment. I don't know if we have anyone here from the public that wants to make a comment. I was not notified before.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. I'm a ETHS student currently, and I came here just to listen. But since a public comment came up, I wanted to talk about police and fire response times.
Okay. And before you start that, I just want to pronounce. I have Guillaume H.
Guillaume, sorry.
Guillaume. Okay, Guillaume H. Is speaking as of right now. You have the floor, Guillaume.
All right. I'm doing this. I guess you'd call it a summary, I guess, of statewide, but I'm going to focus on Evanston currently. I've noticed that whenever you say you call 911 and you call, say, for an ambulance or police, they respond, in my opinion, like you give them your appearance, but then the police officer, since my experience of doing so, not going to go into that, but the police officer didn't recognize me immediately, and I was kind of troubled because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. He was across the street, lights on, out of the car. I was waving at him, didn't notice, and I was like, is he going to come over to me or no? He did, but it was kind of slow response time because I called the police like 10, 15 minutes earlier, and he arrived like 30 minutes after I called, which kind of troubled me after that situation.
Sorry, thank you for that, Guillaume, and bringing that to the attention. I'm sure that like your comments are greatly appreciated and understood.
Thank you.
Guillaume, what I would suggest is also that since this is a police review commission, I'd be happy to, if you or your dad are interested in making an official complaint or speaking to perhaps Commander Glue, who can give you a little bit of insight on what you're asking. And there, it sounds like there's a bit of a backstory. But being that you're 15, this forum may not be the right place. And it's probably best that we get you to the right place. And we're more than happy to do that. You can have your dad reach out for me directly. And I'll get you
Sure.
I'll get you the right information and to the right place. You're welcome to stay in the meeting. It is a public forum, but I want to make sure that you also get the assistance that I think you're looking for.
All right, sure.
Do we have any other public comments? Okay, I'm having no other further public comments. So we will continue on our agenda item for 4A. This is for the review of the complaint register 2002. If I can please have someone motion to begin discussion on complaint register 2002.
I move to begin discussion of CR 20-02.
If
Second.
I can have, okay,
And roll call vote, Chairman Chamby,
approve.
Commissioner Marsh. Commissioner
Rick, you're on
Marsh.
mute. You're on mute, Rick.
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. You know, it's funny, everybody like yells at you when you're on mute. I approve.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve.
Commissioner Strickland,
Approve.
Commissioner Lowell.
Approve.
Having all approved, we will give it over to you, Commander Glue, for a summary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is CR 20-02. This was a complaint made about an arrest that was related to a arrest for violation order of protection. With that, after that arrest, the arrestee filed numerous, I would say, a complaint with numerous parts to it. And I will summarize some of those allegations of complaint right now. So that the arrest was absent probable cause. There was a prayer mat on the floor, and the officers, the responding detectives, stepped on that to disrespect him and religious beliefs. He was not appropriately Mirandized, denied access to an attorney. The detective made disrespectful comments. The arrestee was denied medical attention and medical treatment. Detectives took advantage of ADA recognized disabilities, which diminished his ability to give free and consensual statement. And the arrestee's documents were improperly recovered in inventory. Those are a summary of the allegations. Are there any questions at this time that I can address?
Yes.
Yes.
So the detectives actually went to this location with an arrest warrant. They were going there to arrest this individual.
I would say they had probable cause to arrest. I did catch that tonight, that the arrest warrant, there was not an arrest warrant. It was probable cause to arrest. And pursuant to the investigation and him being brought back to the station, they were able to substantiate the charges. So I apologize. The summary says arrest warrant, but it was probable cause to arrest.
Okay. Here's my thing. When we originally got this complaint, we only got the summary of facts. And we received that maybe a few days ago. We just received the full report yesterday, and that full report was substantial. So speaking for myself, with the time frame that we had in order to review the full report, I was not able to fully review everything. I don't know how the other commissioners feel about that. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is pretty substantial. It's not a small report. It's substantial. And in order to give it its due deference, I believe, I think that, or I believe that I wish I would have gotten this earlier so I could have really reviewed everything in order to make an informed decision on this. There are some things that I questioned, such as he asked for an attorney. He was told that he couldn't get an attorney or he couldn't get a public defender for whatever reason, but yet there was a continuation of questioning going on for this particular individual. I mean, even with the most basic knowledge, we know that someone has a right to an attorney after an arrest. You even state, I mean, that's in the Miranda. So I don't know like the full background behind everything or what happened there. But at least that's my concern. But like I said, I couldn't read the entire report due to the time it was received.
So I completely understand that. We do have body worn camera footage. I think that is pretty comprehensive for this incident that would answer a lot of those questions. I can just quickly address Miranda and an attorney. This individual, I think did have some knowledge of the law, being a first-year law student or having completed a first-year law, but did invoke that they wanted an attorney when they realized they couldn't get a public defender, which is, I did verify that public defender's office, they're not going to send somebody out for this type of allegation. The attorney would be appointed pursuant to affidavit at a later date, or a bar attorney would be assigned. Once that individual did reinitiate with the officers. But again, I do have about 14 minutes of body worn camera footage from the initial response and going to the individual's house. And then about 34 minutes of body worn camera footage. That's audio only because that's what is relevant. The video would have been very labor intensive to redact visually and would have been just a big blur. So I asked that just the audio be extracted from that footage.
And I just want to apologize for sending the document out so late. This is new for me, and I wasn't 100% sure that the redacted sheet should be provided to the commissioners. And by the time I found out, it came late, and I won't make that mistake again. And I apologize. Commander Glue did provide it to me with ample opportunity to get it to you earlier. And I take full responsibility for not sending it on timely to you. And I will correct that in the future.
I can appreciate that.
Thanks, Dave. Is this something that we can hold over to the next meeting so that we have time to review that information?
As far as
That question was that question is directed to you, Dave.
Yes, the commission can do, and I'm sorry, custodian just walked into my office. That's
That's
not good
okay.
night for me.
We all have cats
Yes.
and dogs running all over the place. It's okay.
Yes, it's fine that if the commission elects to hold this over, that is fine, and it's
Yeah,
up to the commission to make that decision.
yeah. I think we would just be more comfortable if we had the opportunity to review all the information prior to making a decision.
I agree
How
with holding it over, but can we at least watch the body worn camera footage tonight so we can have that in conjunction with a deeper review of the material rather than doing
Yeah.
the footage later?
If everybody's agreeable, I would like to review the body worn camera footage tonight. I would say the amount of allegations does add a complexity to this investigation that, you know, might be better digested over 2 meetings, and getting the body worn camera footage done tonight, which again, is going to take us probably about 45 minutes. I do think it's important to watch it in this. Generally, I think it's important to watch the body worn camera footage when available. I do definitely think it's important in this instance as well.
So just on the record, I mean, this was what I think, Commander Glue, that you got left off of an email, but this was what my email was about yesterday to the commission, is that I wanted to know if everybody was, I spent probably 10 hours reading 134 pages of documentation in the last day and a half since we got this, because it's not fair to Commander Glue and his team and the officers involved, and it's not fair to the complainant if we don't make the educated decision that we're all looking to make. So while I agree with us pushing this back to another meeting, having read every page of that 134 page documentation, I do think that needs to be read before we watch the body worn cameras. We can do it the opposite direction, but I don't know that it is in context to my fellow commissioners who haven't read this full document. It doesn't necessarily make sense. And if your brain works in such a manner that it makes sense to watch it first and then understand what you're watching in a couple of weeks, all the power to you. But I think that it should work the other way around.
Yeah.
And I don't expect that anybody else read this. This was a topic in my household when I was unavailable for the last 24 hours because I was reading this stuff. I didn't want to do that either, but if we were going to make a vote tonight, I was not going to vote on anything without reading this. So I don't expect that anyone else did. But I think that we need to do things in a proper order in order to make a proper decision.
I'll speak for myself. I don't know about other folks, but I've read enough of it that I think watching the video would provide more insight. I just haven't, delved in depth enough to make a vote based on the record in the report. But I think watching the video will help, put things in context for me personally. But I'll leave it to others to make a decision on whether they feel like they have enough of an understanding of the report itself to watch the video tonight versus next week.
I don't have a preference. But I don't, because I didn't read all, 100 plus pages. I don't think that I'd be prepared to make a decision tonight. I don't have a preference as to whether we watch the video tonight or after we read the complaint.
I want to be respectful to everybody's time. I mean, if we watch it tonight, my perception is the video is pretty straightforward. It is pretty enlightening. Shana has read everything, so she's going to get probably the most out of it. I think if we watch the video tonight, people read the packet, and then something's still unclear, we could go back later and review. I'm good with either one. I want to accommodate this commission. So like I said, I'm completely agreeable to show it tonight. I do think the video is pretty straightforward. It is pretty enlightening and clears some things up.
So this is a matter of whether or not you have to see the first movie in order to understand the second movie type situation for me. Which one comes first? Will we get a better understanding if we read first and then have that background in our head when it comes to the video? I understand what you're saying, Commander Glue. But you deal with these all the time. So we don't know if it's that you may have a different understanding of particular videos than others. And so it may seem straightforward to you, whereas for some others, it may, you may need it in conjunction with. So I think the best route to go is to determine to take a vote on it. To take a vote on whether or not we wanted to go into executive session tonight in order to watch the video tonight, or if we want to just hold that over to the next meeting. So if anyone wants to move that we hold off on watching the video until the next meeting, that'd be great. And if I can have a second to that extent, or we can go the other way.
Well, before we do that, just a comment, from my standpoint, I've read some of it. I didn't read all of it. Shonda read all of it, and this is her recommendation. So I would lean towards her recommendation.
I actually would too. So if we're better off reading everything first, and we'll get a better understanding of reading the packet and then watching the video, then I'd be fine with that.
So should we, so if we can move someone to make that motion and we could second take a vote on it?
I mean, I move that we review the video at our next commission meeting. And in the interim, we all read all of the documents and we make a decision at our next meeting.
I second that.
Do we need to do a roll call for that?
Yes, we do. So this is a motion to hold complaint register 20-02 until the April meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Chair Shambi,
Agree.
Commissioner Marsh,
Agreed. Approved.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve.
Commissioner Strickland,
Approve.
Commissioner Lowell.
Approve.
So we're gonna hold over complaint register 20-02 until our April meeting. Once everyone has the opportunity to read the substantial report, written report, and we'll watch video at that time. Okay.
Commander, will we have another case for next month as well?
I do anticipate there's gonna be another case for next month. It should be far less complicated than this. It will have probably about 15 minutes of body worn camera footage. And the investigation is less complicated and the accusations are not as numerous and it's spelled out. So we should.
Okay, I think if we can all maybe anticipate having a slightly longer meeting next month, we'll be in good shape. But I appreciate the analogy and the support. But I think this particular case, I do think that we all want to read the book before we see the movie. So you'll see, it just makes sense. And I know a lot of you have read some of it, but it just going to make more sense. And we'll do our best job.
Dave, I think
Okay.
this might be for you, but it may make sense to send an email to the full commission so that the other folks that are not on tonight know that they will be holding this one over, so they have a chance to fully review it as well.
I will hope to get the minutes out within a week and send draft copies to everybody. And then they'll see that, in that email where I send them out, I will note that the next meeting will probably be longer in duration, since it'll be this one and a proposed another complaint.
Yeah, the next one is, I'd say, less complicated, but again, the body worn camera footage is very important in that one as well. That one should be ready relatively quickly. I almost could have been ready for this meeting, but this one I knew was bigger. And I wanted to, if at all possible, have this as a standalone, but we'll knock out both next time.
Great.
Commander, I'm sorry, one more interruption. I apologize. There is one piece of this report that wasn't redacted. It just indicates who the sister of the complainant is,
Okay.
the sergeant. So I think it's probably too late for that to be fixed since we all have it.
Okay.
but there is one spot where her first name is there. And if you are familiar with the Evanston Police Department, which I think most of us are, it's quite obvious who she is.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's just her first name is still in the report.
Right. It's still enough.
Yep.
All right, we'll continue to move down the agenda. We have nothing else for items for consideration. So we'll continue on to new business, which is number 5. New business for tonight is the election of the Citizen Police Review Commission new chair. So if anyone wants to nominate a wonderful person on this commission, or if they want to self-nominate, and
Can
then
I
we can vote on
Shauna?
that. Can you nominate Shauna?
I do.
I have 3, according to the documents that we were provided from Mr. Stoneback, I have 3 months left. So it doesn't make any sense for me to be the chairman of the commission with 3 months left on my term.
In the same boat. June is the end of my term.
And let me please clarify, it's the end of your first term and you can decide to participate for second term, for 3 years. Your first term was only 2 years because it was the initial organization of the commission, but you are allowed to be reappointed and serve for another 3 years at your discretion.
Does that change the mind of anyone?
Mine.
So I will say, being chair for this past year and a half, almost 2 years, the time constraints are minimum. You know, I enjoyed my time here, and I enjoy taking an active role. But if there's a concern about the time constraints, I do have to say they are minimum. I'm running my own law practice as well as another business, and I have been able to do so even while acting as chair of this commission. So I don't think that will take up too much of your time if that was anyone's concern. Anyone? So I
Well,
guess.
So now, Interim Deputy City Manager Dave, we did receive the terms alignment. So based on that of this group, and can we nominate someone who's not here?
I believe that you can, yes.
I think that leaves us with Doug, Rick.
Yeah.
While you're taller and tougher, I'm smaller, and I don't think Doug wants to be the chairman of our commission.
We could nominate him and appoint him.
No, there were some missing when I got in that didn't get a vote. So if you don't appear in order to vote. Again, and the position is only for a year. I know I've served on it for almost 2 years, just because there's been large gaps in between our meetings. We haven't had the opportunity to meet regularly like we wanted to. We've had a lot of challenges in creating this commission and kind of getting it on its feet. And so I had no problem with continuing with the position. But I am ready to, hand off the baton, so to speak.
I can go ahead and nominate myself then for it, because it doesn't sound like anyone else wants to, to take it on. And we've been talking about this for a while now, so just to move things along, I'll take that on.
I
Okay,
second that.
I second Nika being chair. I guess we should take a vote at this time.
Sure. So this is a vote to nominate Commissioner Strickland as the chair for the next year. Commissioner Shambi,
Approve.
Commissioner Marsh,
Approve.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve.
Commissioner Strickland,
Approve.
Commissioner Lowell,
Approve.
thank you. And I will send the proposed agenda to you in advance, seeking your approval of the agenda before it's distributed to all the other members. So,
Okay.
okay.
So
thank you.
obviously, new members need to be added, to this commission. And I'm assuming that you all are in that process of adding new commissioners.
Yes.
Yes.
The mayor is in a process of appointing 2 new commissioners to the commission.
So Tanika, you're not done. I mean, you're still on the commission. You're just not the president. Is that
Exactly.
true?
No,
Okay.
Exactly. So we have 2 vacancies right now.
So
yeah, and
why
so
don't we
he's
go
looking
to
to fill
agenda item
those.
5B and
Yeah.
open that up, and then we can.
So agenda item 5B is the terms of the appointed commissioners on the Citizen Police Review Commission. And it states that the staff recommends the commission accept and place on file the following information regarding the terms of the appointed commissioners.
So if I may, as I got onto this commission, I went back and looked at the ordinance and, understood what was required by the ordinance. And then I also found the document where the appointments were made. And then they were in conflict with each other. So 3 people were nominated for 1 year, 3 for 2 years, and 3 for 3 years. And that was not in accordance with what the ordinance indicated. And then looking at the appointment, and this is kind of more wrapped up in the little spreadsheet that I sent that shows what was done by the appointment, but then apparently what is actually occurring on the commission right now with Graham and Weaver not participating. And then on the website is where I saw what appeared to be the terms that the other commissioners were going to serve, but that has never officially taken place through the city council. And so my thought would be as the mayor is getting ready to appoint to fill the 2 vacant positions, at that same time, I would add to that memo to clarify the appointment for the current commissioners. And again, I want to stress that in June 2022, 3 commissioners first terms will expire, but that does not prohibit them from serving a second term.
Is there a timeline for when the commissioners need to notify whether they're going to stay on or end their expiring terms?
It would be nice to have that probably in May. So if they do want to be reappointed, we could get that done, hopefully. Actually, probably be best to know in April, since the meetings are so early in the month, that we could, if they want to be reappointed, that is easy. If they have to fill vacancies, I think there's a little bit longer process in vetting out the different applicants.
Is it actually a vetting process of applicants?
It depends on how many applicants are in the system. And again, I'm just learning. So when I went back, it looked like in in 2019, there was over 80 community members that signed up to potentially be on the commission. In the current process, there's only 3 names. And so if there are going to be vacancies, it would be beneficial to the mayor to know that, so that he could, you know, we could put a press release out saying that we're looking for community members to be part of the commission, and hopefully have people fill out the application. But then if we get 10, 12 applicants, then there's some vetting out as to which one are you going to use to fill the 2 to 3 vacant positions. So what I'm hoping to get a vote on from the commission is that they agree to the 3 commissioners that will serve 2 years, Richmond, Ross, and Marsh. Again, this would be just their first term. And then the 3 that will serve 2 years, and then the 4 that will serve 4 years. And that's Strickland, Lowell, Whitmore, and Shambi.
Or that will serve 3 years? Just to clarify.
For 3-year terms, 4 people serving 3-year terms. And so they would stay on, their first term would end in June of 23.
So if we can have someone make the motion, and then we can second and vote on it.
I move to make a vote on the commission terms as specified in the spreadsheet that was provided to us in the agenda.
I second.
Chair Shambi,
Approve.
Commissioner Marsh,
Approved.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve?
Commissioner Strickland,
Approve.
Commissioner Lowell.
You're muted.
Yep, approve. Thank you.
All right, so the terms of the current commission and the commissioners that are currently serving has been approved. In terms there, okay. Our next agenda item is 5C, and this is in regards to future meetings, whether they will be in person or virtual. I don't know if we are doing all future meetings, or if maybe we should take it month by month just because of how the numbers are going. What do you think the best thing is, Dave?
Well, I just want to make it clear that we are allowed to meet virtually now because of the governor's order, which I believe is ending at the end of this week. And no one's certain if he's extending it or not. So if there's not an extension, then we have to meet in person, but you have to have a quorum of the commissioners in person, and we can still set up a Google Meet, which would then allow other commissioners in the public to phone in, and it's basically like a conference call. And that is how we're doing it. So it's not quite like the city council meeting or the standing committee meetings where there's the video and all that. We just don't have the staff to allow that for all the different boards, commission, and committees that happen. So we kind of have virtual light, if you will, which is just a conference call. It's set up through a Google Meet. You dial in, you enter a PIN number, and then you are basically in a conference call in the meeting room.
Remember those days?
Yes.
What
Okay.
is this conference call you speak of? So can we maybe figure out for next month, because we don't know if there's gonna be extension, and then I'm just trying to figure out, are we just saying like let's say that there is an extension of the governor's order that ends this week. And if we're making a vote tonight based on the belief that there is no extension, but then one actually passes, how do we address that for our next meeting if, just to make sure we continue to have a quorum? I know there are some people that still have some complications with in-person. I'm just trying to figure out how we can do that tonight.
If I can make a suggestion that the motion, someone would make a motion that if the executive order is extended, we plan to meet, however you plan, I would assume virtually. But then if the executive order isn't extended, then we do have to meet in person. And again, the quorum of the committee has to be present in the room, but then others can come in by conference call.
Okay.
It will be challenging when we go into executive session, though, because you're not going to see the obviously the footage if you're on a conference call.
Makes sense. So if we can have someone to make that motion, to have virtual if the governor makes the extension, or we'll have in person at the next meeting.
Yeah, so I'll move that we plan to, we're moving to virtual based on, well, okay, so hang on, oh, we're all over the place. I move that we plan to be in person for April unless the governor extends the order further.
I think
And
you
then
want
we'll
to say
be
that in
virtual.
reverse. Right.
Yeah, in reverse.
Yeah.
So we'll be meeting virtually in the event that the governor extends the order, and we'll be meeting in person if he does not.
I second the
Is
motion.
that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I second the motion.
I'm sorry, so Richmond made the motion and who second? I didn't catch it.
Strickland.
Thank you. And I'll do a roll call then. Commissioner Shambi,
Approve.
Commissioner Marsh,
Approved.
Commissioner Richmond,
Approve.
Commissioner Strickland,
Approved.
Commissioner Lowell.
Approved.
Okay, so if we find out, we'll be meeting it virtually next month unless we are required to be in person based on the governor's decision. We'll continue to move on. There's no old business, so we'll move past that on the agenda. And also, we've already made a motion that we were, I just want to make sure the only thing that we needed to go into executive session was to see the, video for CR 20-02. Okay, and we've addressed that earlier on today, so I don't see the need to talk about that. So as of right now, that completed our agenda item, yes.
I sent an email with a waiver attached to it.
Yes.
I only received the waiver signed back from 2 of the commissioners. So we'd appreciate you printing it, signing it. You can take a photo of it on your phone and email it to me if you don't have any other method, but I would really like to get those waivers back.
Absolutely.
And then I sent an email out to try to let you know that we are targeting for July to have a training refresher, and hopefully for the 2 new commissioners that will be appointed by the June meeting, hopefully, or July meeting. Hopefully by next meeting, they'll be appointed and they'll attend the meeting. But we wanted to get them on, so we thought July would be a good time in case other commissioners roll off and we get new members. we want to try to do that training then. So I'm working with Commander Glue to try to get an outline for that training. Commander Glue is also working on a time frame where we can offer ride-alongs, and you know, he'll provide, I don't know how many different events or times that days and times that you can go, but then you could sign up for that. We'll distribute that by email. So hopefully I'm trying to help you get this commission up and running and moving forward appropriately from here on out. And I will
Absolutely.
not screw up and not send, I will send the packets out as early as I get them next time. I apologize.
No, we can appreciate you. Thank you for stepping in, and I think you've done a great job thus far. So
Thank
Yep,
you.
I agree.
mhm.
I do have something to bring up that came up today, and it's kind of in the, it's a little time sensitive, and it's kind of in the topic or context of training. We have a firearms training system here. It's a simulator. It's called the Megit Firearms Training System. We have it on site to March 8th, from March 8th to April 13th. In the past, commissions of this that have had this goal, have had this task, the commissioners have been invited to come and partake in that training. It's no live fire, it's none of that. It's like it's a big interactive video game, basically. But the chief has asked me to get interest from the commissioners who is interested to come in. We encourage people to come in and participate in this training. It takes about a half hour, 40 minutes. We don't do much, we don't do any use of force review here so far. It's not to say that we won't have some overlap in the future, but it's generally good training, and it's commissions like this across the country typically partake in this type of simulator training.
Can I ask you, I'm interested, but my question is, what's the purpose of the training?
It's basically, it's going to familiarize people or put people in that decision-making role and use of force and de-escalation and decision to use force. It puts you in that role.
Okay.
And it's a familiarization there.
Okay.
So again, evaluating use of force is something that we haven't done. And if there's anything this commission does with use of force, it would probably be, it would be something accompanying a complaint that we had, with the use of force review system process is different, independent of this commission, but it's still good. It's something good to familiarize yourself with, along with the ride-alongs and officer decision-making.
I would be interested in that.
Yeah, so would I.
What I?
Okay, all right, very good. Dave, are you interested?
Sure,
Dave's
why
got
not?
enough to do.
Yeah. See how many wrong people I shoot by.
So
I'm gonna play with the one up at the range in North Chicago in a couple of weeks, and I've got IROC, my annual shoot, coming up. So, but I highly encourage
good,
all my
right?
commission members. I
Okay.
highly encourage you guys. This is like a live action video game where you are actually Commander, is it the same as the old FATS machines? Okay,
Yes.
so the scenario is based off of like what you do. Either Commander Glue, whoever's running the machine, will change the scenario. So it really does put you into the shoes of a police officer, FBI agent, law enforcement officer across the board. This is used throughout the nation. It is excellent training. And they just the machines keep getting better, scenarios keep getting harder. And I highly, highly recommend that all of you use this. I do this a few times a year myself, just because I have access to the machine. So.
All right.
Excellent.
Well,
All right, I'm in.
This is a machine that moves around, so it is very good, but it does have its limitations. The ones that are fixed are pretty. They're pretty comprehensive up to and including making the floor vibrate, having nearly 360-degree coverage, and putting a device on your hip that if you get shot, it shocks you. We do not do that here. It is not that.
We all set up.
It'll be one screen. So, but it won't be that intimidating. But some of the ones, if you have conversations with other law enforcement officials, I just want to let you know that it's basically one screen. It's not going to be as trick as what the ATF has or Skokie PD has, or some of the ones I've trained on before, where they can be an assault on the senses. They can definitely challenge your decision making.
Good. And so you'll let us know? You'll let us know?
I will email everybody. I'll start getting and engage your interest, and you guys can send me some preferred times and dates, and then I will facilitate and chaperone.
And then I have one quick question about the officer ride-alongs. I know that we have officers that work or are trying to put themselves as Latinx officers working with the Latino community and doing some of that community outreach work. So if I could team up with someone like that, maybe drive around, introduce him to some of the members in the community or the St. Nick's Parish and stuff like that, I think that would be a good opportunity for the officer to get to know some of our local community members.
I'm just making a note. I'm not paying attention.
No, it's okay. And Officer Galindo knows it's something that we're working on.
Okay.
That he can just kind of get a better idea of the community that he works in. And I know we're thinking about doing coffee with a cop, and it's something that St. Nicholas Parish wants to sponsor. So we're going to be working on that when the weather gets a little better.
Okay, very good. And when it comes to ride-alongs, I'll be looking for good times, give everybody some options of when to sign up and come in and ride along.
Great, thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for that. We can continue on the agenda, which we have number 8, which is adjournment. So if anyone wants the motion to adjourn, or if there's anything else that needs to be discussed, now's the time.
I want to compliment Commissioner Marsh on an excellent article about him, and I hope you kept those shorts, and I move to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, back in the day, back in my basketball life. Thank you.
It was really good.
Thank you.
All right, I second adjournment.
Okay. And we don't need to take roll call for that.
No, we do not.
Okay, absolutely. Well, it was great seeing everyone today. I'm glad to see everyone in good health, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
Okay.
Excellent. Great.
All right. Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye,
Stay
everyone.
Night.
Good night.